guys, how's it going? This is Brandon here, and today I have a very special guest with me. I'm here with Elephante.
What's up, guys?
AKA Tim. So today, guys, we're at Bassmnt Night Club here repping KCR. And yeah, we're gonna be hanging out with Tim a little bit and finding out some more about him. So Tim, to start it off, right, how did you get into music production?
So I actually grew up, I grew up playing piano from when I was really young. I grew up, I was in bands and stuff in high school and college. And so I actually got into production pretty late. It was only like probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like playing like blues covers and, like writing emo pop songs. And then I heard a Skrillex song. I think it was Scary Monsters. It might have been an earlier one. But then I was like, my head exploded. And
Classic, dude.
I was like, what is this thing? Like, how did he create this? Like, what? I don't understand this thing. And then so I just like started. I got Ableton, started messing around, and then started doing some remixes, and then one thing led to another, and
awesome.
Here I am.
Cool, man. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys know who are watching this, but Tim was actually a Harvard grad, and a year after getting out of college, you worked full-time at a corporate job, and then you quit, right?
Yep. So I went to Harvard in a past life.
In a past life.
Still don't know why they let me in, but it was a good experience. And then I was working at a consultant firm after I graduated, and it was a good place, but I really I always wanted to make music deep down, and graduating college I was like, nah, that's not a real thing. Also I had no money, so I was like, I kind of need to get a job.
Right.
And then after a year I was saving up and was just really, really unhappy, and was like, look, man, I'm always gonna regret it if I don't.
I see.
If I don't give it a shot.
Yeah, man.
So and then I just quit, and I'd been working nights and weekends on music.
Awesome.
And was just like, hey man, if I'm gonna do it, I just got to go for it.
Right.
In retrospect, maybe a little foolish, but
it worked out, I guess.
I was lucky enough to, I've been very lucky in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So the first time I actually heard your music was on Proximity. So how did that come about? Did you just hit him up? Did you send a demo in, or did someone contact you?
Honestly, I don't know. Blake, I can't remember exactly how we got introduced, but a lot of, the relationships I built and the people I know now is literally just a cold email. It's hey, here's a song, I hope you like it. And, luckily he opened my email, and, he's been a huge supporter, and, that he does awesome stuff. So
that's awesome, dude.
Always pumped to work with him over there.
Nice. So do you think that was your launching point, I guess, when you started doing music full time, or what was your launching point exactly, do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to, because so many things have to happen.
Right.
That it's it's hard to point to one single thing.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, I mean that was definitely something that opened up the door to a lot more exposure and opened things up. And,
right.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely one of the things that helped spark everything.
Nice, that's awesome, dude. I guess what are your gripes about doing music full time? Because I know you must have taken a huge risk, right? So to kind of balance it out, what's the best thing about doing music full time, and then the worst thing? Let's start off with the worst. Let's start off bad and then make it good. All right?
This is dangerous. Is this DJs complaining?
No. I'm just curious. Man.
I don't. Well, look, man. It's really I try to remind myself. I get to make music for a living, so it really is You can't get caught up too much in the little annoying things, which of course there are a lot of those. And I don't know, for me the worst part of it is there's a lot of stuff other than making music. And if I had my way, in a perfect world, I'd just sit in my room, make music, and then fly out to play shows.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other stuff, and you know, just like music industry nonsense that, you know, if you're not in it would just like make your head explode.
Yeah.
But no, it's you know, it's, you know, like, sure, like travel can suck sometimes, but you know, you know, I remind again, you know, I get to, like, when I'm stuck at the airport on a, like a 6 hour delay, it's like, well, I'm like going to play a show, so that's dope. So I can't really get mad. And I guess, I mean, the best thing is like seeing people react to like something that I, you know, put my heart and soul into, and like spend hours and hours and hours in the studio, and then, you know, I get to come somewhere like tonight and like, you know, seeing people react to it, and it's like, oh, this thing that I like created out of nothing, like, is in the world, and it's like, you know, people are reacting to it, so that's something really special.
It must be an awesome feeling, dude.
Yeah, it's no, it's yeah, it's a really, I feel very lucky to be able to do what I do.
That's great. So I guess how did you find your sound? Did you kind of just, so I guess from the perspective of just starting out, right? So you're a new producer, and how did you find your signature sound, I guess? Were you more of like okay, this is my reference track, I'm gonna like try to sound like this, or did you kind of just experiment, like do whatever you liked? Or
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. You know, some of it is, you know, like, definitely when I was starting off, a lot of it was really trying to like emulate people that I really liked, like hearing music that I liked and trying to figure out how they did that. So that was definitely like a kind of starting off point, but then now it's more, you know, once you kind of like figure out what you're doing, and when you're trying to sound like other people, you're never gonna get it exactly right? You're never gonna be able to do like copy that exact thing that they did. So it is a like in your failure, you kind of figure out like different ways. So you can't get it exactly right, so then you figure out something else. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Cool.
So yeah, I don't know. It really is just like a process of experimenting, trying things out, and like ultimately just like doing things that you think sound cool. And you know, it really, finding your sound is definitely something that's, you know, takes a lot, like, it's hard. Like, I don't really know. Like, you just kind of got to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You sort of just have to, you know, it's like over the course of making, you know, dozens and dozens of remixes and songs, and like all those hours, you kind of like figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then you kind of just go from there.
Right. Yeah. I've heard someone compare it to like finding your sound is kind of like your signature when you're cooking, right? It's like you gotta first make some good food, and then you can add that special signature. You know, there's no point in having a crappy dish and then saying, "Oh, I'm gonna throw some parsley on it. That's my signature." You know, so I
for sure. And it's like, dude, like, you know, some people might just be savants and like cook a perfect steak, but then like, you know, you should know how to like cook some, scramble some eggs before, you know, you try to like do like a souffle or, like, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. What advice would you have to give to, say, your old self? Say you were just starting out, you saw yourself again in the past. What advice would you give yourself?
I don't know, man. It's crazy because when I, like, now that I've gone through everything that I've gone through, if I knew everything that I had to do to get to where I am now, at the beginning, there's no way I wouldn't have even started, right? Because there's so much that has to happen and so much that has to go right for you,
Right.
you know, to get to even where I am now. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, just keep like really just try to make the best music you can. Don't worry about like trends or what's cool or like trying to get in with the cool crowd or whatever. It really is. It's like good music speaks, and if you, you know, if you're doing it right, then everything will work out. So.
Good advice. Good advice. Do you ever have the case where like you do something and you're like, okay, this is awesome, and then you go to sleep that night, come back the next morning, and you look at it and you're like, wow, this sounds like crap.
Like most of the time.
So what do you do in that case? Do you trust your initial instinct and go, okay, if I thought this was cool in the beginning, I think I should just run with it, or do you kind of just follow what you're feeling at the second listen?
If there's more work to be done, then usually there's always I'm done with the song when I can't work, when I physically can't work on it, when I'm so sick of it that by the time I finish everything I've ever done, I hate it. And I can't listen to anything that I've done. But I don't if it's, again, it goes back to this, like you sort of know, and like if you can kind of, because you can kind of hear where it's heading, and if you think where it's heading is something that you're excited about, then by all means go for it.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I record a bunch of voice memos a lot of the time, so I'll just be walking around and I'll just my phone is full of them, and then sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just hum something in, and then I'll wake up in the morning and listen back and be like, I have no, what is this?
All right, man. Well, I think you got to go play soon. So thank you so much for the interview,
Dude,
man.
Of
It was
course,
awesome
man.
talking to you.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, guys. You can check out
Appreciate it.
Elephante on SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Well, we're going to go see Elephante perform, so stay tuned for that.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.